Okay, so let's start with, this is called solving by factoring. So a little background first. The first information I need to give you is if I give you this sort of problem, let's just make something easy. So if I give you something very easy like x minus 5, and I said that that equals 0, what would x equal? Well, you add 5 to both sides, and what do you get? 5. Easy, right? Okay, let's do another quick example. If I said 2x minus 1 equals 0, what's the answer to that? Well, we add 1, and you get 2x equals 1, and so x equals 1/2. We all good on that? The reason I bring this up is these are known as linear binomials. Do you guys agree with that? Linear binomials. We're going to talk about linear binomials a lot in this unit, in this section of this unit in factoring. So this will come back to play in a moment. Here's some more. Background number 2. Okay, so this is background number 2. Where's clone? There we go. Background number 2. There's one important theorem or formula or thought, okay, it's known as the zero product property. That sounds really intense. Zero product property is very super important property in this process. The zero product property, also informally known as the ZPP in my classroom, the ZPP tells us if I've got a number, let's call it A, times some other number, let's call it B, and it equals 0, hold on one second, then either A equals 0 or B equals 0. Do you guys agree with that? If this is true, then these have to be true. Why? Who can tell me why that's true? Yeah, correct. Yeah. So this would be the case. Okay, questions. So if I were to give you a quadratic now, let's take an easy quadratic. Let's take, what's an easy quadratic we've dealt with? This morning we factored this. X squared plus 6x plus 8. Okay? If I write this equation down, one way we can solve this equation is by factoring. And so you guys all factored this morning. How did this factor? Look on your warm up for the day. Your fun factoring Friday warm up. What did you guys find that this was? What were the factors? So, those aren't the factors. Those were the numbers that you played with. But what were the actual factors that you wrote down, Laura? X plus 2 times x plus 4 equals 0. Does that make sense? This is the same. Aren't these two things the same? And so what we've done is we factored. And what we've also done is created a product. Okay, I just said product. When else have you heard the word product today? The ZPP. So does everyone understand that this first part is like the A I just talked about? And what's like the B then? And this is like the B. So what do we know is true? Look back at your notes. What do we know is true? You know that the yellow is like A. So A could be equal to 0 or B could be equal to 0. So the yellow is equal to 0 or the green is equal to 0. So what is the yellow then? Rylan, what's the yellow? Okay, you've already done the work in your head. That's good. But what's written behind the yellow there? So now we know because of the ZPP that x plus 2 is equal to 0. Or what? Or x plus 4 is equal to 0. Does this make sense? Everybody clear on that? So now if we go back to our background number 1, what are we going to do, Jojo? If you look at your notes and look at background number 1, go back to background number 1 in your notes, what does it say that the answer to this is? Or how do I solve this? You guys see that this is a linear binomial? How do I solve this problem? This is a much easier problem. What's the answer? Subtract 2, so what's the answer, Jojo? -2. And what's the answer for this one, everybody? X equals -4. Boom. So what are these called? These are the zeros. These are the solutions. These are the roots. These are the x-intercepts. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, so if we make the problem a little bit harder, here's an example. If I give you 2x squared minus 5x, hopefully this one works, minus 3 equals 0. So here's a problem a little bit harder, right? What's the first step? Benji, what's the first step with this? So in general, you don't have to give me the specific numbers, but what are we going to do? Simplify it. No, we're going to actually go the other way. We're going to try to make this look a little bit bigger. We're going to factor it, okay? So we're going to factor this thing. We're going to see if it factors. So to see if this factors, we see if there's a GCF. Is there a GCF? No. So we're going to set it up as if it were one of the more difficult quadratic trinomials, and we're going to do a little guess and check right now. Okay, so let's guess and check. What are we going to do? We need these first two numbers to multiply up to what? 2, right? So that's obvious. 2x and x. That's it. That's the only thing it can be for 2, right? I need these two numbers to do what? What do I need these last positions to do? Multiply up to what, Laura? I need to get -3, but that could mean a number of things, right? This could be +1, this could be -3, this, you know what I mean? We're going to have 3 and 1. So the 3 could go here and the 1 could go here. Or, you know, vice versa, maybe this. We don't know yet, do we? So we got to play with these two numbers. Do you guys agree? All right, let's play then. What's the outer product right now? 6. Do you guys agree with that? What's the inner product? 1. Do 6 and 1 work together nicely to make 5, -5? Anybody? Yeah, somehow I can work 6 together with 1 to get -5. What do I need? Which one of these do I need to be negative? Do I need the 6 to be negative, or do I want the 1 to be negative? I want the 6 to be negative, which means the negative has to go in front of the 3. What does the 1 have to be then? Oh, this. Yeah, positive, but guess what? Oh, no, that's good. We're good with that. Yeah, sorry. We're good with that, right? 2, 3 makes 6. We get a +1 to make -5. And what's 1 times -3? -3. So we did it. We factored it. Factoring done. Am I done solving the problem, though? No. So, Ramsey, what do I do then? Okay, everybody good with that? And then x minus 3 equals 0. And solve it. -1, -1. 2x equals -1. X equals -1/2 is the one answer. And then x equals 3. Done. That's it. Good job today.